I just want to clear something up real quick. Your opponent put out a tweet. This is your opponent in the Republican primary, effectively accusing you of trying to buy off the Trump campaign to endorse you. Real quick, yes or no, did that happen?
No, that sounds like the rantings of a Democrat. So there's no truth to that.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. And to be fair, we've looked into it and seen no evidence that happened. So we'll move on. But I wanted to get you on the record. What do you make? And I think it's a reasonable question of this disconnect between your polling and thus your chances of winning in Nevada against Jacky Rosen, the incumbent Democrat, and Donald Trump's polling and his chances of winning in Nevada as well.
Yeah, you know, it's there's a really logical explanation. That is that voters know very clearly who President Trump is, and they know very clearly who President Biden is, because we have lived under both of those administrations and the policies of them, and they are so starkly different. But when it comes to who their senator is, which is Jacky Rosen and myself, I'm still new. We just made it through, as you said, with a thumping in the primary last night, and we're on to the general, but there is a segment of voters who have not yet been introduced to me. And so we have got every reason to believe that as we make our case to the voters, to the independents, and even to the Democrats who are sick and tired of out-of-touch politicians, we're going to close that gap and then overcome it.
All right, this is Jacky Rosen on her record. Take a listen.
I have a record of being one of the top 10 most bipartisan senators overall, the top 10 most effective Democratic senators, and the top 2 most independent Democratic senators serving in the Senate. Nevada voters are pragmatic. They want someone who's going to support a women's right for reproductive freedom, to get that reproductive health care. My presumptive opponent, Sam Brown, he wants to take away those rights.
How important, and how I should make it a different way, we've seen how important the abortion issue is. It's why Republicans didn't get the Senate in 2022, in addition to picking some really awful candidates. How do Republicans overcome the abortion issue that has been so effective for Democrats in these down ballot races?
Voters are getting tired of politicians who will lie to them. One of the things you'll note in that video of Senator Rosen there is that was from last night, which was election night right here in Nevada, and she was not even in state. And so as her party was voting whether or not to put her through to the general election, she was doing it, mailing it in from D.C. So that's a perfect example of how she's not even here for us. When it comes to issues like abortion, Nevadans have voted twice over 30 years ago to set our laws, and they did it 2 cycles in a row. I have said consistently that I would stand by and respect the voice of the voters here in Nevada, while Jacky Rosen has actually voted on federal legislation that would supersede Nevada state law. So when we're talking about someone who represents Nevada's interests, it's a clear contrast between me and Jacky Rosen.
I've seen some of your ads show up on my Twitter feed. I screenshotted one of them, but we don't have it to show the viewers. But it talks about how you come from a family of humble means. Obviously, you were in the Army. You were badly burned in an IED attack, survived, met your wife in the hospital. It's a great story. But look, you're an accomplished man, clearly of considerable talent. There's a lot of things you could go be doing rather than running around in politics. I'm wondering why this is so important to you.
Like, this is important to me because we're at a crossing point for our country. We're going to choose whether or not we become a country that still allows for people to pursue the American dream. And as you know, as a small business owner, as a husband and a father, I've got children who are middle school and younger. What I have seen over the last few years under this administration is people who have lost hope, and the pursuit of the American dream has become an American nightmare. You have young people graduating graduating college with so much debt and they can't get jobs that pay them well enough to be able to go buy a home. You have people who've retired and should be able to live comfortably for the rest of their life, who can no longer afford their medication and are actually having to reverse mortgage their homes or go get part-time jobs just to make ends meet. You've got energy costs that are now second highest in the nation here. Our unemployment is second highest in the nation here. Our schools are failing. All of these things are issues that, if we don't solve quickly, are going to become a permanent fixture in this country. I've served once. I'm not afraid of a challenge. And it's time for me to put my professional life as a business and my family in a position where I go serve again.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.